Morning, Jim.
Hey. Yes, sir.
Bringing a shared code book at the moment. We may have to have you look at a couple interesting things.
Okay.
And this is on the Trevor Flores case, Judge, and I think you visited with that gentleman earlier. He's present here in the courtroom at the moment.
Okay.
But I got the case this morning. I've had a chance to do a kind of little bit of digging into. Yes. And although we are still waiting for the bulk of discovery in the case, he's charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon following a traffic stop. And I've got a map that is kind of intriguing. I think you'll find just with the way it's drawn. But he stopped by an officer with the City of Bel Air Police Department, and may I approach to just show you this delineation. But this is, but he's pulled over going.
I know the area well.
Northbound. He's pulled over going northbound on 610 as he, what is described as makes an unsafe lane change. So he's northbound on 610, wants to get on 59 to go southbound, is erroneously in the wrong lane going northbound. The officer says that she is observes him, makes that unsafe lane change, and that lane change is outside of the City of Bel Air Police Department jurisdiction. Now, we have a particular statute that governs whether officers can have the authority to make a detention of someone when they are outside of their jurisdiction, and that's 14.03 of
their PD can still stop someone outside of Bel Air.
Not for, well, according to the code, it says a peace officer.
That would mean that any officer outside would never be able to do anything.
No, that's incorrect. There's a very limited exception, and that's what applies in this case. So it says a peace officer who's licensed and is outside of the officer's jurisdiction may arrest without a warrant a person who commits any offense within the officer's presence or view, other than a violation of subtitle C, Title 7 of the Transportation Code. So generally, any offense that an officer sees, he can arrest that person or detain them, as the way the code uses that term, arrest. He can detain that person. But when it's for a traffic offense, that officer is required.
He's not arresting him for a traffic offense, though.
Well, that was the basis for the stop.
Sure.
But the way the code contemplates arrest, it's any, and that's defined in, I think, in chapter 15. But arrest, as contemplated by the code, includes detention. And so this officer doesn't have the ability, where that stop takes place, to make that detention. That officer could detain him if he saw him committing theft, could detain him if he saw him committing an assault, can't for a transportation code.
But he stops him for whatever reason it is, right? Comes up to the car and he smells marijuana.
Yes.
Right? And then don't they even get a drug sniffing dog? Is this the one where they get a drug sniffing dog and they find the weed and...
No, Your Honor, that's it.
Was that a different case?
No, it's a different case, Judge. But the handgun, I believe, was in
plain view.
No, I think it, well, so I think what's alleged is it's in conjunction with possession of marijuana. And for purposes of just this limited PC question, not my focus is solely the detention. I'm not.
It's certainly crafty. It's great. But he's not arresting him for the traffic offense.
Well, but I think we're looking at a limited scope of what arrest means. So I think you're looking at arrest as in being arrested.
You would be saying that really if he had committed an ag rob, right, or kidnapping, then even if he had kidnapped, like let's say he had a 2-year-old child in the car that he had kidnapped across state lines. Well, then according to this, because he's in a different jurisdiction, then he couldn't arrest him on that kidnapping charge too.
If he saw a kidnapping taking place, the officer could arrest him under that code. But what he can't do is when there's a traffic code violation, we don't allow for example, the El Paso Police Department to come to Houston and then sit on the street corner and arrest people for traffic violations. We don't allow them to make those stops. And that's what's at issue here, is a peace officer who's outside of his jurisdiction able to enforce the traffic code.
I know where you're going and I've seen it before, but I'm not.
And we're looking at G1.
Where exactly did it occur anyways?
Let me see if I can pull up the
So I
exact
think-
address. We don't have like any discovery in
Sure.
this case or how many dash cam or anything like
So what it
that.
says in there is 5600, 610 northbound. And what's so curious about this is.
That's still in Bel Air? Is it
No,
outside of
that would be
Bel Air?
outside of Bel Air too. And
Hmm.
going northbound, southbound lanes are covered in the city of Bel Air. The northbound lanes, for some reason, are not.
I don't know. We'd have to look closer. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
mean,
happy to
it's
look
something that
further into this.
You have to
Judge.
look, I mean,
can't make
I
any-
can't make that determination now.
Fair enough.
Number two,
Yes.
he's not arresting him on a traffic offense.
Well, and I think what the code contemplates when it says arrest, and I think there's case law on this, is that it includes the concept of detention as that's been, because I think when that code was written.
And so what I'm saying would apply as well, though, like if he catches a 2-year-old kid, right, that's been kidnapped, by your theory, he wouldn't be able to arrest him on a kidnapping charge too.
Well, it's not.
All right, pause right here. This is where things start stacking up fast. We're not talking about one slip up. We're talking about multiple probation violations, weapons charges, and alleged fleeing. In the probation world, that's like lighting a match in a fireworks factory.
My theory, it's the code.
If he has a dead body in the car, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, that's a legislature question. And I mean, but they wrote that.
I can't imagine that the legislature intended that. I think that they intended for, yes, for a traffic, let's say for speeding, right? Or your tail light is out. Yeah, not to arrest in that respect. But he goes up to the car, smells marijuana, sees a gun in plain view. I can't imagine the legislature intended in that purpose.
And my position, of course, is that, this may be for a motion to suppress later down the line, and I think there's still
But
plenty more to do in the
it's a
case.
freaking awesome argument.
Well, but the idea
I love you.
is
Mr. The wonderful.
no right to
Right.
detain him.
Right? Really?
I appreciate the judge, and we'll get.
I'm not ready yet,
Yeah.
but build it. If you build it, they will come. And then we'll take a look down the road and yeah,
Thank you, Judge.
for sure.
Oh, don't forget your phone.